Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to be talking about the terminus of politician as person and the rise of politician as platform. Okay, so right now we have this concept that the politician is a person, right? And I think it's and one of the things I've just been really thinking about lately is we really don't have a modern conception of a modern politician, right? We really are still thinking about our politicians in the way that we did in 1850 and in 1950. Things have really changed very little, right? We have this idea of a politician as a person, and I think there really needs to be a terminus of that idea, right? Not thinking of politicians as a person, but specifically thinking as a politician as a platform. And I specifically think that the Democrats should adopt this. One, overall, at the macro level, I think the Democrats are massively behind Republicans. I think that as a party, the Republicans are stronger, faster, better, than the Democrats. The Democrats are coming from behind. That's just my opinion. I listened to what was it? It was a really great podcast by John Favreau, and it was essentially, I think it was called The Wandering Years, and essentially it was about just a complete breakdown of what happened in 2016, and really talked in depth about every issue that the Democrats had. And one of them is they have a very shallow bench. A lot of their politicians are very new, very inexperienced, whereas the Republicans, they look at this generationally, right? So what I'm talking about specifically, I believe, should be adopted by the Democrats so that they can be competitive 20 years from now. This is a 20-year plan, right? And it would take that to move into this. But I really think, strong, smart parties really think at the decade level, right? And so this is a long-term plan, and it is the terminus of the idea of the politician as a person and the rise of the concept, the embracing of the concept of politician as platform. Okay. All right. So I recently come to a new understanding, and that is, all politicians do is communicate. They really don't do very much at all, right? Sometimes they'll do physical things, but whenever they do those physical things, it's all for the optics, right? So virtually everything they're doing, what politicians do is they carry a message, right? And I've come to the opinion lately that a message, of course, is communication, and all communication from a modern politician needs to be layered communication. What are the layers? Attire, motion, word, environment. Okay? Their environment, where they are standing, and everything within their environment should be communicating the message they want to convey at that moment. All right? And a modern politician should have one dedicated team, right? That team could be 1 to 10 people strong, of 1 to 10 people who are doing nothing but preparing the environment around that politician in real time, beforehand, orchestrating and calculating ways that they can control the environment in the future, right? Controlling the environment and allowing the environment to carry the message of the politician is absolutely critical. Okay, all right. The next is motion, right? So this is an idea that a politician and also a platform, okay? We're talking about preparing a person and transforming them from a person to a platform. A platform bears weight, right? It holds things, right? And so if you're going to transform somebody into a platform, right? One of the things you're going to be starting, I think that the Democrats really need to start thinking about is thinking about where they're going to get. So a perfect example of this is LeBron James. He was identified as a candidate for the NBA in his junior year, right? We should be thinking the same thing. The Democrats should be thinking the same thing. They should be identifying people in their junior year and saying that we're going to take this person and we're going to transform them from a person to a platform. Now, what do I mean by platform? Well, the next one is motion, right? There are going to be a team of people who are going to. So once a politician begins, being a politician, running for election, and even during their governing, right? Every single motion needs to be calculated. How they use their hands, how they walk, the cadence of their walk, right? all their motion needs to be able to carry a message at any given time, right? And so once you got a politician in position, right, you need that politician to be able to take direction from a team of 1 to 10 people on exactly how they move their head, how they move their hands, how they move their shoulders, how they move their torso, how they move their legs, their feet, their mouth, all of it, right? Like, every motion needs to be calculated, right? And the reality is, you're going to need to be able to shift this. You need to be able to shift your motion in front of different groups. You need to be able to shift your motion in front of different events, right? Based on what events have just happened, right? And so a true modern politician is going to be able to take direction, right? They're going to have, they're going to be able to be controlled by a motion team, right? They're going to need to be able to take direction, right? To remember how to be directed by these teams that are literally choreographing everything they're doing at every moment they're in public, okay? And right now, we don't have anybody like this. There's nobody's been trained like this, right? We don't have politician platforms. We have politician people, right? But if you're going to win, like the president, the king or queen of the world, that's what that role is now. You've got to go to this next level, okay? All right, so we've talked about environment. We talked about motion. Let's talk about attire, right? Same thing here. So basically, you're going to have an entire team. They're going to be getting the finest shoes, the finest pants, the finest shirts, the finest jackets, the finest dresses, right? Hats, gloves, every bit of it, right? Taking it to a new level, right? The same level that's used for rock stars now. You know what I mean? Like, I have my junior high daughter really likes Vocaloids, which are Japanese virtual idols. Like, they're singers, right? And they don't even talk about clothes. They talk about clothes as modules. And when she'll watch a video with a Vocaloid in it, there can be literally like 20 changes of clothing within a single song, right? And so this idea that clothing is going to be an absolute rock solid tool that can be used by this politician, no longer a person, but a platform, right? A platform for the work of an entire team, right? Able to change quickly, able to be comfortable in all kinds of different clothing, right? And that's huge. It's a really big one. The last one is words, right? You're going to have an entire team of people formulating your words. That's not new. Every politician in the world is doing that right now. They have an entire team of people who are putting the words into their mouths and helping them to convey a message with words. It's important, but it's the only vector that's actually controlled today, right? At the level that it needs to be, right? So the reality is, once you realize that the modern politician will be carrying messages, those messages could be in harmony or they could be in dissonance at any given time. A politician platform could give one message with their clothes, one message with their words, one message by their interaction with their environment, one message with their motion, right? They could be 4 different messages, all conveyed within a matter of minutes, right? And we haven't even talked about dog whistling. You could dog whistle with every single one of this. So can you imagine? So basically, if you have somebody who can communicate in 4 different layers, right? Motion, attire, environment, words, right? And then can dog whistle on those same channels, right? On those same layers, right? That's 8 forms of fully free-form communication being able to flow in and out, right? And so this idea of, and just as the NBA, the National Basketball just as National Basketball Association, as all professional leagues today are scouting 5-10 years ahead of when those people will be reaching the prime time. I mean, really, the Democrats really need to start doing the same thing, and it's even more important than with an athlete, right? An athlete's just going to need to it's going to be able to need to score points, right? But this is much more complex. This is going to be physical, mental, and maybe even a tad of spiritual, right? Like, this is transformation of a person to a platform. That platform has to be rock solid. It has to be granite, right? Because you're going to put a ton of weight on it. You will be possibly putting the work of 40 people, right? If you have a team of 10 people for each vector, for words, for motion, for attire, right? For environment, right? If you have 40 people's work, right? You need somebody who's trained to carry it all, right? And that is a super politician. That is the politician as platform, right? And if the Democrats are going to leave the Republicans behind, they've got to embrace this concept. They've got to embrace the terminus of politician as person and embrace the rise of politician as platform, right? As something that will support the work of at least 4 different teams, right? That's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.